Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of the Face Yoga Expert podcast. And it's a very rainy July morning here. I am sat, as I often do when I'm recording the podcast, in my dressing gown or my robe, whichever you want to call it. I have just had an almond milk hot chocolate, which I make in my hotel chocolat velvetizer. Really simple. I just put almond milk in and then I put 85% cocoa dark chocolate flakes in there, and the velvetizer mixes it up and it is just yummy. And I have it in one of the hotel chocolat lovely velvetizer cups. It's like a sort of like white ceramic cup and it just feels so luxurious and lovely. So I have one of those every day. I feel like it's my little vice, my little treat. Love it, love it, love it. And I try not to have it too early in the morning because I enjoy it so much. I sometimes have it as early as sort of 9 o'clock. This morning I had it 10 o'clock because I do know that there's sugar in there, there's caffeine in there. Yes, extremely minimal compared with coffee and even tea, but still I don't like having it too early. So I always make sure I eat first and then usually have it about mid-morning. But that was very nice. And it's actually a Saturday morning as I record this. Bruce and the girls have gone about an hour away because Lucia is doing a football event. So he has taken them both over to that. And then this afternoon, I am taking Lilia for a nail appointment, which she is very excited about. I let her do it in Easter. I took her to the place where I get my nails done. And she had little Easter egg. They're actually mini egg nails, which was super cute. They lasted the whole of the holidays, which was amazing. It was just regular nail varnish and lasted so long. And she just loved the treat so much. And it was such a nice bonding experience for her and I, and just a really cute thing to do. So I promised her that at the beginning of her school summer holidays, which is literally today, her first day of the school summer holidays, she could go with me again. So I will also be having my nails done because I have got a webinar, which will already have happened by the time you listen to this episode. It is a masterclass. So if you didn't watch it, of course, you can get the recording of that. So I'm doing that on Monday. I've got lots of other filming and I've got lots of school events for Lucia's school next week before she finishes on Wednesday. And then I've got one of my best friend's wedding on Saturday in Devon, which is super exciting. So nice nails will be good. And I will probably go for white. Again, I tend to do white in the summer quite a lot. So that's a little update about me today. I don't know how I slept last night. Well, I do. I'm looking at my watch now. I had 8 hours, 23 minutes, it says on my watch. So it's a fairly good night's sleep, but feeling a little bit blur this morning. I'm hoping the rain's going to stop. I'm going to go for a walk. I just feel like my body needs to move a little bit actually today. So let's get into this week's episode, which actually is an episode talking about me and the things that I do. But I always like every episode to be helpful to you and have some really great takeaways for you. And I guess just add value to you in some way. So even though I'm going to be talking about me and my routines in this episode, I hope that it's helpful for you and you're able to take away some tips that you can maybe either implement straight into your own life or just be inspired to take a little bit more time for yourself, for your self-care, to look after your health and your wellness as well. So I'm going to give you an insight into my nighttime routine as a 42-year-old, and I'm a very busy mom and a very busy business owner as well. As you guys know, I do lots within my business. I do aim to find the balance, which I feel like I do. But of course, I have also lots of responsibility. I have a team that work with me. I have all of our super trainers that do our face yoga teacher training courses. I have all of our face yoga teachers. I have all of our customers. And of course, I have all of our online community, which is an online community of well over 1 million people now. So yes, I am busy. Yes, I do take time for self-care, but my nighttime routine, I guess, sort of reflects my need to just sort of wind down from all the busyness of the day. And it's by no means what I would call my perfect nighttime routine. If I had more time in the evenings, perhaps when the girls are older, or maybe when I'm, not working, or working less, or whatever it would be, I would probably add quite a few things into this nighttime routine. But I wanted to share with you how I do manage to just slot a few things in, despite having an 8-year-old and 11-year-old and being a busy business owner as well. So my evenings usually start by making dinner for the family. I would say that probably 5 out of 7 evenings, the 4 of us all eat together, maybe 2 evenings a week. And there's no particular routine of which day. Maybe I'll feed the girls first, like on a Friday, for example, I let them have what I call a carpet picnic, where they sit in the family room and they sit on a big rug, and I do like a homemade pizza for them, let them watch a movie, and then Bruce and I might eat later. So we do a combination of things, but generally we try and eat together, the 4 of us sat at the table, which is really lovely. So I'm the sort of cook in the house. We always say that I'm the cook and Bruce is the driver, although of course I do driving as well and he does cooking as well. They're the sort of roles that we tend to take, just because he quite likes driving and I quite like cooking. So if he's picked the girls up from school, I will, or a club or an activity that they've been doing, I'll be cooking dinner at that time, and then I'll have dinner for when they come back. So we'll eat dinner together, and then we tend to do any homework that needs doing. If it's a sunny evening, it's not always as easy. They want to go out and play on their trampoline in the garden and they're running around wild, or they ask if they can watch TV, but we try and get homework done straight after dinner. And then the routine starts of bath time. Of course, Lucia, she's 11 and a half, so she'll just sort her own bath out. I tend to do her cleanse and her moisturize of her face. So I'm just sort of teaching her how to just do a really basic skincare routine to really look after her now skin that's obviously going into puberty. But she's quite self-sufficient. We're getting herself ready. Lilia turned 8 last weekend, so she's quite little. So I'll still sort of put her in the bath and I'll wash her, and I'll try and get her to dry herself and put her own nightie on or pajamas on, etc. But anyway, we do the bath routine, and then usually it's either Lucille will do some more homework or I'll be with her and I'll do stretching with her. She is big into her sport. So I try and encourage her to do some stretching every day, which sometimes is super easy. It's lovely. We do it together. And other times she really doesn't want to do it at all. But I know that it's so important to have a little bit of stretching and rehabilitation with the amount of sport she does, and all the sports clubs and at school and everything, they don't do any stretching or recovery after the sport. So I'm sort of in charge with that with her. So I'll often go through that with her. And then with Lilia, I'll often hear her read. And Bruce and I, as you guys know, we run our face yoga business together. So we both are mostly working from home. So we're both mostly around to do evening routines. So we can sort of, at most evenings, sort of take one girl each and just sort of help them out. So for example, if Bruce is hearing Lilia read her school reading book, then I can do stretching with Lucia. Or if I'm sort of reading a story with Lilia, or I'm brushing her hair or doing whatever, then Bruce can go and do Lucia's maths homework with her. So we're sort of like tag teaming it, which normally works quite well. And then once they are both settled into bed, they both tend to read a book to themselves then, just obviously in their head, in their own beds. And Lilia has just started doing that, which is so lovely to see. And if you watch my Instagram stories, you would have seen that last weekend when it was her birthday, Bruce and I did a surprise makeover of her room, and she was so excited. So she had a single bed in there, one of those sort of cabin beds, which has got space underneath and everything. But she said quite often how much she would love a double bed. And I knew it'd be really nice as well, because one of us can lie in there and read stories with her. If she then starts having sleepovers, she can have a friend come and sleep in her bed. And we did a surprise for her birthday, and I rearranged every single thing in her room. I must admit, it was the most exhausting day. So Bruce took them to school about 7:45 in the morning, and I just started going through every single toy. And if any of you have got little girls, at that point she was obviously 7, she's 8 now, who love like little trinkets, you will know exactly what I mean. She just had so much stuff. So I organised everything. I organised it all into boxes so she could find everything. I cleared loads of things that weren't age appropriate anymore. So they were too young for her. Into charity boxes. I got rid of any broken stuff. I recycled loads of like old pictures and paper and stuff we didn't want to keep. So I was working for hours and hours and hours with that. And then Bruce was dismantling her old bed, which currently is still in my office because we are looking to sell it. We've offered it to a few charities who can't take it at the moment. So now we put it up to see if anyone wants to buy it. So fingers crossed, because it needs to be out my office by tomorrow when I need to do filming and my masterclass. But anyhow, that is another point. And then Bruce was building her new bed and I was rearranging everything. So we moved all the furniture. We put a new desk up there. So it was a desk that we had in the garage. We moved that up there because her old desk is part of her old cabin bed, which can stay with the cabin bed now. And she was so happy. She was so excited, so thrilled, and so thankful. So she was so excited consistently, probably for about 3 days after. But even now, she lies in it and she says, this is exactly what princesses have. Beds like this are exactly what princesses have. So it's so lovely to see how much gratitude she's got for it. So by the time both girls are then lying in bed in the evening and they are reading their books, and then once Lily has read her book, she'll often put an audio book on and then sort of fall asleep to that. I can then start my sort of evening wellness routine. So bear in mind, I will have had a busy day, and you guys know that even in my busy days, I do try and do a walk and yoga. So I've already done those self-care things throughout my day, made sure that I'm moving my body in some way, usually through a walk, but often I'll do different other types of exercise. But that's my sort of go-to non-negotiable. And then I'll make sure I do some form of yoga in some way. And I've been getting very into aqua yoga at the moment. So I've just joined a really lovely spa. So what I tend to do is I use the lovely healing waters there, and I do my yoga routine in water, which as a bit of a water baby and a Pisces is being really lovely. So I am doing self-care throughout my day as well, which is so important. But of course, my days are also busy. And then my evening routine with the girls, it can start sometimes when we're picking Lily up at 3:30 in the evening and go from 3:30 all the way to 7:30. So it can be busy. But once they are in bed, then that's usually the first thing I will do is run a bath. A bath for me is such a ritual, I guess, a physical, emotion, and spiritual cleansing ritual. And I just love how it almost signifies the end of the day and the start of the evening or the night for me. Plus, it's a really nice way to relax my body, and it's when I tend to do my skincare. So I'll put all my cleansers, and if I've been wearing makeup, I'll often do a triple cleanse. So I'll often use something like the Almora Botanica Purifying Cleanser first with a muslin cloth and wipe it off. And then I'll often use a cream cleanser like the Lavera cleanser, which is great. And I'll just use that and cleanse my skin. And then if it's still, I find that I just need to remove one more layer, I'll use something else. And at the moment, I'm using a cleanser by Gaia, which is really nice. So I'm just using that again with a muslin cloth. So I'm just using that in the bath, but I tend to get fresh water each time rather than use the bath water to wash my face. So I'll just sort of run my muslin cloth under the tap, but I'm relaxing in the bath while I'm doing it. And then when I get out the bath, obviously dry myself, sometimes I'm moisturizing my body. And then I'm usually using a Liz Earle toner. It's really nice. It's actually quite hydrating. And then I'm using the Fusion by Danielle Collins moisturizing serum. Of course, I use that twice a day. And then my skin is set up ready for the evening to do my face yoga. So my face yoga routine for me is in the evenings, not because it's better to do evenings from a results point of view. You can do mornings if that suits you. But I just find that when I have that time, it's in the evenings. And I like to do it once my skin is clean. And I put on the Fusion by Danielle Collins Pro Lift Moisturizing Serum as well. And I tend to do it sat on the sofa. So Bruce and I will usually put the TV on maybe about 8 o'clock, and we'll watch something for 45 minutes to an hour, and we'll sort of chat while it's on, and I'll sit there on the sofa do my face yoga. He sometimes just sits on the sofa too, but he'll often do his stretching. So, he'll go to the gym and things, throughout the week, and then use the evenings when we're sort of just chatting, watching TV, to do his yoga and stretching. So he doesn't really do his face yoga. He's very regular with using his Fusion by Danielle Collins moisturizing serum. He uses that at least once, if not twice a day, and he'll massage that in his skin. So that's great. And he's got great skin because of that, actually. But he doesn't do like a full 20, 30-minute face yoga routine like I do every evening. And I am then usually start with a little bit of lymphatic drainage down the neck area, and then I'll go forehead, eyes, cheek, mouth, jaw, neck area. So I'm usually doing 20 to 30 minutes, sometimes less, sometimes more. Sometimes I'll bring some facial tools down. If you've ever seen any of my YouTube videos on this or my Instagram, you'll know that I've sort of organized all my facial tools into little sort of clear drawers so I can see exactly what I've got. So I'll just intuitively pick maybe one tool or two tools and bring those down and just use those a little bit. Again, you can do it almost quite, I guess, mindfully, but also mindlessly as well, because it is something like a jade roller. You can just gently roll over the face, feels super relaxing. Don't need to think much about it, but you're also working with boosting the circulation. And by the way, the Fusion by Danielle Collins moisturizing serum and jade roller and rose quartz roller and also the gua shards you can get on my website, faceyogaexpert.com, and there is free delivery all around the world. So wherever you live, we can ship there, which is fantastic. So that's what I'll do with my routine. And usually while I'm doing that, I'll sip a herbal tea. So generally, I tend to have a chamomile tea. I really like the pucker herbs nighttime tea as well. I'll usually make that before I sit down on the sofa, let it cool down, and I'll drink that probably about 20 past 8, something like that. Then somewhere between 8:45 and 9:15, we will then turn off the TV, and I'll usually go to the kitchen. I'll have sort of half a glass of filtered water, and I'll put in there a spoonful of my magnesium powder. I found that massively helps me to fall asleep. And I'll put in about 2 teaspoons of the rejuvenated collagen powder. It's called Collagen Shots. It is fantastic. And what I really notice is when I'm not taking it, how much less sort of bouncy and plump my skin looks. So definitely would recommend that. And I do have an affiliate code for you for that one. You just need to use the code DC, so a capital D and a capital C, and you'll get 10% off at checkout. So the company is called Rejuvenated, and I take the marine collagen, which I find is really good. So that's a fish-derived collagen. They do also do a vegetarian one and a vegan one as well, which isn't quite as effective. But if you're vegetarian, vegan, it's definitely still really, really great to take. And then I go upstairs. We'll both go upstairs. We'll sort of turn the lights off downstairs. We'll usually put on a light which doesn't contain blue light. So there's a company called OcuShield, and they've got a really nice lamp which you can put on. It's great for the evening because it doesn't contain any blue light, which means it's not waking you up, it's doing the opposite. So we usually have that in the bedroom while we're sort of getting ready for bed. And then I tend to now massage, well, both my feet, but particularly my foot, where I had the foot surgery about 4.5, 5 months ago now. So I had it very end of February. So I've still got quite a big scar, like a 4-inch scar on there. So I need to massage that scar each night. And I tend to use a nighttime oil, which is actually meant to be for the face, but I use it on my foot because I think that the ingredients in it are very, very good for rejuvenation of the skin and deep moisturizing. And that's by Almora Botanica. So I usually do that. Sometimes I'll journal as well. Sometimes I'll write 2 to 3 affirmations or gratitudes for the day. Then I will get some lavender oil and I'll put a couple of drops either side of my pillow. I always use the Sleep and Glow pillow. Absolutely love that pillow. And if you're still using a regular pillow, definitely I would recommend making the investment to change. If you ever wake up with any sleep lines on your face or your neck area, then get yourself the Sleep and Glow pillow. I also use the Sleep and Glow pillow bra, which basically goes between your breasts. And I usually wear just a little like soft yoga bra over it just to keep it in place. And it stops you getting wrinkles between the breasts, so on the chest area as well. So if you're a side sleeper like me, if you're using a Sleep and Glow pillow, you've got that little sort of cradling of your face, so it's not screwing up your face. And then you're not sort of squeezing your breasts together, so you're not creating that line. So you've got that little sleep bra between your breasts. So you can definitely get those both on the Sleep and Glow website. If you use the code FACEYOGA10, all capital letters, FACEYOGA10, you can get 10% off both those products. Also, their sleep masks as well are fantastic. And I wear a sleep mask every night. I just love how it's just blocking out the light. I just find that I sleep way better, particularly in the summer where it can get light about 4 o'clock in the morning. I will put these codes, the one for the collagen and the one for the beauty pillow and the sleep mask, in the show notes as well. So you've got that there. I'll also do just a little bit of sleep mist just on our duvet. So usually like near the bottom of the bed. And there's a really nice one by a company called This Works. So I've got that in my bedside table at the moment. I've also got one by Hemsley Organics. Really, really beautiful, and just loads of lovely essential oils in there. And it just gives that nice aroma in your room. It just signifies to you that it's time to go to bed, it's time to sleep. And part of these routines is exactly that. So not only is that self-care, it's looking after my skin, it's looking after my body and mind, but it's also just telling me that this routine means it's time to wind down. It's time to relax now. It's time to go into that sleep mode. And I find it all enjoyable as well. I don't think, oh my gosh, I have to do this routine. I'm actually like, oh, I can't wait for my bath. Can't wait to do my face yoga. Can't wait to do my massage for my foot or get into bed or smell the lavender oil. You know, it's actually super exciting. And then if Bruce and I are being what I call good, we will. When I say we're being good, it means we're actually doing what I think is probably the most important routine, but sometimes we forget. We'll do some gratitudes together. And actually, I need to make this more of a routine. I reckon we probably manage it 2 or 3 nights a week. I would like to manage it 7 nights a week. And what we do is we both say to each other 3 things we're grateful for about that day. And sometimes it can be really generic. So like our health, our family, our home. But other times it can be really, really specific. So it can be like, thank you for that amazing apple I ate today. Or thank you for that smile that Lucia had because she was happy about her sports today. Like it can be little moments that bring big joy, or it can be big things that we need to also remember are important. And even just saying this now, I really want to add this and become as regular with my routine with the gratitudes in the evening, because I am often writing them down, but I find actually saying them to another person and hearing another person say theirs is so, so powerful. And I aim to be asleep by about 9:30. So I'm trying to get between 8 and 9 hours sleep. And generally, so I've got an Apple Watch now. I've had one since March, because Mother's Day in the UK is March, and Bruce and the girls got it for me then. So I can track my sleep and I can see how it's going. And when I feel my best, I've had about 8 hours, 40 minutes. And the watch will actually record when you're asleep, not just when you're in bed. Because often we think, oh, we've had 8 hours sleep because we go to bed at, say, midnight and wake up at 8. But not necessarily if we slept all that time. So the nice thing about a tracker like this is actually telling me how long I've actually been asleep, how long the deep sleep was, how long the REM sleep was, how long the light sleep was. So yeah, last night, 8 hours, 23 minutes. Generally, if I'm doing about 8 hours, 45 minutes, 8 hours, 50 minutes, definitely feel my best. This week, I think there was one where I had 7 hours, 50 minutes, and I felt super tired all day. And also there was one last weekend, a whole long story. We were taking Lucia to school right in the middle of the night because she had to get a ferry to France for her school residential, and we didn't sleep. And then the coach broke down, so she came back again, came back home, and then she had to go to France the following night. So it was a whole thing. But one of those nights I slept 6 hours, and it's been a long time since my watch has said, in fact, since I've had the watch, I don't think it said I slept 6 hours. I felt horrendous all day. Honestly, I cannot tell you how much it made me realize the impact that good sleep has on me. And often I'm feeling quite tired and overwhelmed anyway with like 8.5, 9 hours sleep. So if I had consistently 5, 6, or even 7 hours sleep, I would feel awful. So sleep is so important for me. It's so important for all of us, really, you know, whether we are 8 or whether we're 80. So I hope these tips have been helpful for you. I hope there's some little ideas or inspirations you can take into your evening, into your routine. But I think the main thing is just find something you are happy to do and excited to do every day. If it feels like a chore, if it feels like something you have to push yourself to do, you won't keep it up. If it feels like, oh my goodness, I cannot wait to do this, then you'll keep doing it. So that's definitely my best advice on that. So I will put the codes for the Sleep and Glow beauty pillow, their sleep mask, and their sleep bra into the show notes. So remember, it's Face Yoga 10 for Sleep and Glow, and for also the rejuvenated collagen, which I always take at night, because best time to take collagen is 100% at night. And you just need to use the code DC at checkout for 10% off with them as well. Okay, guys, sending you so much love, and I will see you again next week. Bye-bye.
So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you'd like more information on face yoga, or you'd like to become a face yoga teacher, just head to our website, faceyogaexpert.com, for more information. If you'd like to do a regular, structured daily face yoga program to get the best results, you can either use one of my apps, just search Danielle Collins on your app store, or you can use my book, just search Danielle Collins Face Yoga on Amazon. And thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.